They'll definitely be looking for certain signatures. We need to be careful in not assuming it's just the Russians. For example, there was the defacement earlier this month of Ukrainian websites, and that actually wasn't Russia. It was actually attributed to Belarusian hackers who may have been operating in conjunction with Russia. But so there's a wide range of actors here, and this is why you have to be careful, and this is why you do want to take your time in making these attributions. And then once you don't necessarily play your cards out all at once. We have had in the past, many months pass in Canada when we've had a cyber incident, and then sometimes even a year or two goes by before a formal attribution is made. The timing here is a little suspicious. And when you are doing your investigation, there's really two kinds of things you're keeping in mind. First, of course, is the technical investigation, the kind of forensics of what actually happened. But then on top of that, you're also kind of looking at the political factors. Who would actually have an incentive to do this and why? And, in that case, the suspicion comes from the fact that, yes, the foreign minister was in Ukraine at the time of this particular attack and had been, very vocal in her support of Ukraine and conveying Canada's support of Ukraine. From what we know, the email systems were not affected. The phone systems don't appear to have been affected either. So because of that, it seems to have been, some kind of internal system. Certainly, there could be servers with information about records, for example. If there's kind of like day-to-day management software that could be in there. And it really kind of depends on what the aims of the hackers were. Was it to actually damage software and just destroy it entirely? Was it to actually just get information about global affairs personnel? Certainly, we've seen both of those kinds of attacks carried out by actors in recent years. So there could be a large number of things that a state actor could be looking for. It could be anything from information on personnel files. It could be on how GAC is managing its day-to-day systems, structure of the organization, just trying to root around for things like plans, intentions, just trying to find out, what is global affairs plan for Ukraine? So if it was a simple espionage investigation or intrusion that was happening, it could be limited to that. Or could this potentially have been something more sinister, something that actually aimed to shut down the networks? There's so many different states that are interested and are successful in compromising Canadian systems. It's not just Russia. The timing here is like, you really do want to have the technical analysis. You kind of use the kind of political analysis to kind of figure out, okay, well, who might be an important actor here, who might do this. But in the end, it's really going to come down to the technical forensics. And, we shouldn't forget that Russia has a number of actors who may be willing to do this, and they can argue plausible deniability. It could easily have been an actor from Belarus, for example. So, these things all really make the whole investigative process very, very murky. And, that's something really to bear in mind before we go around pointing fingers. Global Affairs Canada right now is dealing with a lot of sensitive information and files, particularly in relation to Ukraine. They're the lead organization and agency. So if they're compromised, that's a very bad thing. One of the things we have seen in recent years is that a lot of times these cyber intrusions is a form of diplomatic language, very malicious diplomatic language that can be used to kind of send a message. And it'll be interesting to see if that's the case here.